Hi everyone, welcome to today's class. I hope you had a good weekend. So today we're gonna finish our horse. I'm gonna do this video a bit fast so it's shorter, but you can pause anytime just to catch up. Okay, so first thing we need pencil, eraser, and our drawing. And I'm gonna start with the very dark parts, the very dark areas. So let's grab probably a 3 or 4B, and I look at my reference picture and I just try to draw wherever I see it's really dark. I'm gonna use this just so I can put my hand over it and I don't get all dirty. So first, if you don't have this already quite defined, you can really just grab your pencil and define at least just this little strap, so it's nice and outlined here. So I'm just gonna finish it and then I'll let you pause the video. So just make sure these lines are nice and defined. You can pause and make sure the straps are looking nice. Perfect. So now let's go ahead with our darker colors. I'm gonna do this fast so you know what areas you wanna shade. So I'm a little bit ahead of you and you have a clearer picture of what areas to draw. So I'm putting a medium pressure on my pencil on the darkest areas. You notice that the bottom of the jaw here is dark as well. And now after this very dark section, I'm gonna start applying less pressure. Sorry, I know I'm going really fast, but I'll let you pause the video in just a few seconds so you can catch up. I just want to show you what you want to aim for, and we're gonna redo this vertical line right here. Okay, you can pause, and once you're done with these dark areas, we're gonna switch. So I was using a 4B. I'm gonna switch probably to just a B or 2B. If you have just one pencil, that's okay. You can just use a lighter pressure. So I'm drawing this area right here. If you notice, they are a little bit lighter, but also pointing or in the same direction. So do lines towards the bottom or towards the center of the drawing, just to indicate a little bit of texture right there. So right now I'm just coloring the areas where I see it's like a medium color. You don't have to do it this fast. You can take your time. Just make sure when you draw, don't do like this. Just do smaller areas and go back. Okay, so I'm very happy with this area. So again, notice I have a very dark shadow right here. And as I go farther down and to my left, it gets lighter. So you want to do that. I'll give you 2 minutes to catch up, so you can pause now. Next, let's do the face. Let's start with the darkest areas again. So the jaw and right here. So follow along, draw the jaw. Again. And do separate lines like this. And now that we're doing the face, I'm doing a very medium, very light pressure for the medium areas. Medium, not the darkest one and not the lightest one, but wherever you see a little bit of gray. So this area right here, this, and you just want to follow along the shape of the shadow just to see. Sorry, I think we had a Y here that I erased, but you want to make sure it's still there. So leave the little white, this Y white, and just color along. If you want, you can wait until I'm a little bit ahead so you know what you're aiming for. And under the ear, there's a little bit of color. Right here, there's that little line right there. You can, this is optional, but you can grab a little bit of paper towel and, oh sorry, and just blend the light areas. Don't go over any dark areas because then everything will be the same kind of color. You don't want that. So just the light areas. Don't blend too much, it's just a little bit. And now I'll let you pause and catch up. So the next step, we're gonna grab our eraser and we're just gonna go over the areas that look very light. It's like we're drawing with our eraser. So my little Y right here, the bottom part right here. This area. Along the neckline here, just a few more highlights here and there. Okay, so now after you have your highlights, we're gonna do another round of very dark areas. So I'm going to use my B color and look at your picture and see which areas are dark, really dark. And just go over the dark areas. A little detail on the face. The nostril, so like we did last time, it is a C. Sorry, it's like a C with your pencil, then a C with your eraser behind that first one, and then another C behind the one we did with the eraser. So C with a pencil, C with eraser, C, and a third C. And inside our first C, there is a triangle right here, upside down, very dark. And there's a little Y right here. You can go over the edge if you need it to be a little bit more defined. The mouth, go along the line here with lots of pressure, and here the lower lip, I guess. Notice that this shade comes into the lip. I'm gonna give you 2 or 3 minutes just to catch up. Perfect. And now I think what we can do next, sorry, my iPad ran out of battery. So we can do a little bit of texture and then the hair at the top. So I'm just drawing each hair strand separately. I start with a bit of pressure, and as I go along I kind of put less and less pressure until I lift my pencil. And you can color just where the hair starts at the top here, so just to give it a little bit more of a darkness and just so it looks a little bit more 3D. Just going over with my eraser just a little bit. Okay, and now I'm going to grab my HB and go over again. So I already did my very dark shadows. I'm gonna go around those shadows, and even with an H or a 2H, so it's very light. So let's say this is my dark shadow. I'm just gonna go around, sorry. I'm just gonna go around the shape just so it's blending a little bit more. So around, like I'm enclosing my dark areas right here. Right here a little bit, going past my first shadow. So just look at your picture, at your reference picture, and see what needs to be fixed. We can pause the video now. And after this mid-color, let's do the detail for our belt. So make sure your outline for the belt is very defined. I'm gonna use probably an HB just to do the detail. So basically I'm just coloring inside, and I just follow along my edge. I don't color the entire area because you want it to look like it has shadows and highlights. For this area right here, let's do 3 lines. Oh, sorry. And I color along the lines and the left edge, and I leave a little bit of a space. Or white areas on the right side. So again, make sure your lines are very defined. Look at the reference picture, draw the same thing. For this one, I see 2 horizontal lines right here. Okay, so let's pause the video so you can catch up. Perfect. And right now, the last step is just to go back and forth between your shadows and your highlights or your eraser. You just follow along, so wherever you see that maybe that shape needs to be a little bit darker or longer or bigger, you fix it. If you are not too happy with an area, you can always blend a little bit, only if you really have to, and then erase the lighter sections right here. And I think we're almost done. I know I'm doing it very fast, but you can pause and take as much time as you need it just to make sure your shapes are correct. So I'm fixing my nose or my snout here. My top has a little bit of a line coming down, but it's not too wide. So I'm gonna go back with my eraser. I can erase what I don't need. Define a bit more of the shapes. Okay, let's do a little bit more detail on the hair, and then you can pause again. So a lot of pressure, and I do each hair strand a little bit curved. You can do as much as you want, as many as you want. Long the hair is always fun. And let's redo the eye. I think we did it last class, but let's just make sure it's quite dark and defined. Okay, and I'll let you pause the video in just 2 seconds to catch up, and then we'll do our highlights. So now we're gonna erase where you think you wanna put white charcoal. So the white charcoal is where the lightest parts are. Anytime you use white charcoal, you wanna erase what's underneath, otherwise it won't stick. So just erase where you wanna do if you don't have the white charcoal, that's okay if you just erase the area very, very well. The white, if you're using white paper, the white of the paper will work as a highlight. So I think the light is hitting the most over here. Don't forget the dot on the eye. I'm using very light pressure. If you're using white and it's too streaky, you can always grab a new piece or clean piece of paper towel and just blend it a little bit, but usually we tend to overblend, so try not to blend unless you really think it could help. Okay, and that's our horse. So I'm gonna pause the video, or you can pause the video, sorry, so you can finish. Don't forget to sign and send us your pictures. Sorry, now that I'm looking at the for a little bit further behind, I just need to make this line a little bit darker because it's getting blending, and I want to make this shadow a little bit smaller. There we go. Perfect. So now you can pause the video, and don't forget to sign once you're all done with your highlights. Don't forget to sign and send us your pictures, and I hope you enjoyed this class. Thanks, bye, have a good week.